fed up. Like, I don't want to do that anymore.
The most important thing that we do with all of our clients, which works really well, is you make...
Do you feel like this is the solution to get to 6 figures a month?
Oh, 100%.
This is Natalie. She gave up her done-for-you agency offer and pivoted to start a new info business, teaching people how to grow organically. Last year, she lost $300,000 in sales, working 12 hours a day in the trenches of the business. Her market is adapting super quick, so if she doesn't fix the business model right now, she'll stay stuck forever. How would you describe what you do? Who do you help?
It's mostly, so far, like I had personal brand, but mostly it was like small and medium-sized business owners based in Dubai, Europe, USA, like across the globe.
I see. And how does it work with your current revenue and profit?
So basically, so far, my margins are super high. Like, not gonna lie, it's what, 95%.
Wow.
I'm charging currently it's like a subscription monthly. I'm charging around $8K. So I'm having like 4 or 5 clients all the time.
So every client pays 8K per month?
Yeah.
Wow.
And what are the deliverables?
It's research. So I research fully what's going on, who you are, what do you do. Then the strategy, it's usually like 15 organic reels plus the bio funnels. And the remaining 2 weeks is you deliver to me the raw materials, my editors edit it, and then we post it for you.
Got it. So it's full social media management.
It's full social media strategy plus management, basically.
It seems like a lot of manual work as well, would you say? Because especially now, to be honest, with AI, like same as you saw in the last episode, it was like so many people are utilizing AI to be able to create skill for themselves. Would you say you do everything manually, or you have a lot of team members that you pay? Apparently not, because you have 95% profit margin. So I assume you do a lot yourself. Would you say that you have figured out like an infrastructure, like a path in which you can fulfill continuously to the client without it taking up too much of your own time?
I tried, you know, like not gonna lie, I tried. I was like giving the same inputs. I was like, okay, what's gonna be? Even though the same inputs, the way I researched and I delivered it, is still not able to do on the level I'm doing.
What about the problems?
Yeah, the problems are basically that it's tied to my brain and I need to scale more. And that's why we're just talking that you caught me doing transition when I'm transitioning from done for you to done with you, right? Which is like mentorship, strategy plus mentorship more in that sense, and more of a personal branding rather than the companies.
Got it. What is your fear when it comes down to switching? Because obviously you didn't make the change yourself yet. So there is a fear that comes into play by not making a transition. What is that?
No, I don't have a fear, to be honest. It's just like when you posted that story saying like, okay, we're doing the meetup, that's what I was like just thinking about this, because I'm just fed up. Like I don't want to do that anymore. Like I wanna make it like easier for me, because I understand like I'm not able to like scale past what I'm doing.
We tell people all the time that the hardest thing to deliver on is custom solutions, right? It's the hardest thing. So what you need to develop with this done with you is kind of a systematized solution that you can offer to these people. And in doing that, I think that you can honestly charge still a very high rate, but it'll just be so much easier to deliver on.
And what Aaron said is perfect, because when you solve a specific problem, we're going to sell to a specific avatar. So you're not on a call anymore with somebody that is here, or with a realtor, or with whatever. We focus on one specific person, we solve that problem, and we can make the backend systematized.
Also to hire closers to do the calls for you.
That's the goal, right? So my goal is basically to launch a mentorship. First, okay, 30 people, but the goal is like 125.
The way you got your business model set up right now, let's say we can give you infinite amount of quality leads. How many can you take on at the same time?
Now, I'm good. Like, I can't really much.
The 4 or 5 max, or yeah.
So you're capped out at between 30 to 40K a month.
Yeah, 25, 30, 32.
And you want to scale to where you want to scale?
It would be like 100, 120, which is very much doable if I do done with you.
Okay, tell us about your avatars and their pinpoints right here.
I want to be what I told you, right? You have certain authority like that comes with your style, which I want to develop more. I'm moving into more of that direction.
Do you have an avatar that you specifically would love to focus on and that you can solve specific problems for? That you say, Nick, listen, I want to go in that direction? Or do you say, I'm just not really sure about like what direction to go into in the first place?
If I keep doing done for you, then it's again business owners, right? But if we're transitioning to the mentorship, right, it's personal brand owners, anybody, right? You who want to scale organically, build authority, build the exposure, the views, engagement, and whatever comes with it.
At the beginning, and not saying that you're at the beginning, but I think that you're still at the kind of inception of this business, right? You've realized that you have a really good idea, that you can deliver very well. Niching down at the start is really valuable for a lot of the people that we work with. And then as they see, okay, one avatar really works well, then you can broaden a little bit. You can work on a more specific vertical, and you can even call those people out. And I'm telling you, you're gonna get a lot more conversions if you do that.
Most of our clients that are doing under $100,000 a month focus on one avatar, have one pain, and solve one solution that is pretty expensive, like anywhere between $8,000 to $15,000. And then we see the clients that we have, like Josh Lyons in the sales, Alex Eubank, like bigger people, they make 500 to 1.5 million per month, but they're B2C focused. So they solely focus on like an avatar that is more broad because you can attract so many more people, and they have a more infrastructure-based solution instead of doing it custom. Instead of hopping on a call with you and then, you know what I mean? That's not gonna work out, to be honest.
Yeah, like if you only worked, let's say with, whether it's like boss women or whatever, or women at 6 figures that want to scale to 7. If I'm a woman at 6 figures and I see this video, it's gonna resonate with me so much more than just saying
makes sense.
business owners. I also saw one thing that I want to touch on. You don't use CTAs a lot.
Not much. I didn't used to. Now, like, it's in the game.
You're getting into it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So you're slowing down your front end because the back end takes so much time.
Yeah. Currently, the clients are either the ones who are just starting from zero, you know, 0 followings or like 300 or 2K, and they just like, they don't know what to do.
I think it's going to be very great to switch to a done with you mentorship model, because what happens now is when there's a retainer model in place, you deliver a service instead of information. And when you deliver a service, you constantly need to deliver a good product for
Exactly.
people to retain. Technically, when you deliver that, the pressure is constantly on you. A lot of people say that it's very hard to scale like a front-end model while constantly selling to new people, but that's not true, because you can just sell to 3 people a mentorship offer instead of selling one offer to a person that needs to at least create an LTV of, what is it, 8 times 3, like $24,000, and stay for 3 months to make the same amount of money, which is way hard to fulfill for, because you can sell a course.
I believe that getting attention, your ability to get attention, or anybody's ability, is probably the most valuable thing that you can have right now. Besides maybe AI engineers working for Meta, right? Like at the end of the day, if you can get eyeballs, you get paid, right? By you actually going with it done with you, you're teaching these business owners how to do that. It's so valuable for them. And I really want you to talk about that in your messaging. How I'm going to teach you how to grow your business organically. It's just incredibly valuable.
Think about this. You know Shelby Sapp.
No, yeah, of course.
She makes 1.5 million per month, and the only reason why Shelby Sapp makes the money she makes is just because of the fact that she relates with women her age that feel like they want to either make more money, create freedom for themselves, or become dependent on the ability to make money for themselves without being able to rely on other sources or things like that, which is the reason why she relates with these girls a lot. She doesn't make money because her system is great or her objection handling framework is good, you know? And that's where, in my opinion, girls have a big advantage within the relatability sector. You have to understand there's 7 billion people in this world. I think 3.8 or 3.7 are women. So even though the info market is technically a market for men, it's way less saturated. You have a lot more opportunities. So that could also be a great opportunity.
Besides relatability as well, it's also positioning. Like, she's very relatable, but you also know exactly who she's targeting and who she's speaking to. So she doesn't have the question of, can you help me as well? You know exactly if she can help you, yes or no.
And that's obviously also, they're not looking for a done-for-you solution. They're
Yeah.
looking for a done-with-you solution. They look
Yes.
to become part of something instead of buy a service.
Fine. And yeah, it makes sense actually. Like, women trust women more, right? So why shouldn't I be that?
First problem solved.
Yeah. Okay, core offer we know, 7.8, around 8. The average retention is 2. Average retention is 2 simply because I just give a freedom, after all, for the business owners to maybe continue themselves. We just found out that after 2 months, they understood the drill.
So it's even better with done with you.
The reason why a retention model for an organic offer is only 2 months is because it's very hard to predict.
Yeah.
So for you to deliver results, you can deliver your result. That does not mean the outcome relates with the result all the time. You know, because as an example, when you have an agency, a marketing agency, you run Facebook ads, you can see the problem. You see exactly, okay, this is the amount of money spent, this is the amount of money lost. So you know what you need to change to adapt the strategy and give the client a prediction of what's going to happen. It's very hard for you to say, next month you're going to get 100,000 views. It could be 1 million or it could be 0.
Majority of times they're asking me, okay, what's the guarantee? And I just refer back to the cases we have. But there is no like, okay, fixed guarantee. Next one. Where are we? How I get clients? Yeah, organic, right? I have like 1.2, 2 million when I'm posting like lousy. In summer, I posted lousy. I had summer, so it was like a nice time. See, 5-10 is now when I'm posting lousy. If I'm posting good, it's like 50, 60, like easy. 2-3 close the month, right? The standard rate, which I can take on. The rest, I just can't.
What would you say is the main acquisition kind of system?
Immediately booked calls. Like immediately, I don't really interact.
And is there a Calendly link in your bio? Can you explain?
Yeah. So it's a Calendly link in the bio. You go answer like 7-8 questions. I immediately state how much it's worth, like the cost, the fees, and you just book and that's it.
How many people in total just book in your calendar?
Everybody who kind of books is kind of qualified, like always, because the questions there are, I see a lot of people bouncing back.
Gotcha. And from the people that are qualified and don't buy, what is the main objection they have or uncertainty?
I would say more of it this way. I say no way more than people tell me no to, because again, from the perspective of how I work, it's super important for me to click and match. And a lot of times I don't see that happening.
When you have a community, the responsibility is on the girls.
Yeah.
So it's easier to give people access to what you provide because you know it's good. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of fact if they take action.
In the last 10 months, basically, because summer was like super slow for me. I was transitioning, like it was family time and etc. So I was basically going with the leads that I had. Sales calls, okay, 45 during the summer, I would say, and average monthly revenue is 25, 30. Yeah, this is like stable for past couple of months.
A couple things I want to talk about, okay? The first one is model, the market, and then we have the last one, which is messaging. So there are two different models, right? You have a coaching model and you have an agency model. The agency model is dependent on like systems, right? So as an example, right now you fulfill for a client, and what you do is you fulfill a service, and a service has specific deliverables. So one of the deliverables, as an example, could be organic growth. The other deliverable could be you get a VA within your company that helps you provide and script the reels or
Finding an
or, like
editor, yeah.
finding an editor,
Yeah.
things like that. And another deliverable could be anything else related to that, right?
Yeah.
A coaching model is very simple. You technically just provide the information. That's the only thing that you do. An agency is easier to retain because you have clients and you retain. So let's say you don't see a lot of agencies scaling to $100,000 a month. There are not a lot of agencies. There are a lot of coaching businesses that make a lot of money, right? The moment a coaching business scales to $100,000 a month, most of the time it drops back all the way to 20K. Because there's no sustainability. As an example, you're working in your own company right now, and you have 3 elements you're focusing on. One is acquisition, one is content, so this is sales calls and things like that, and then the last one is fulfillment. What happens when you focus on making content right now? Every single day you make content, you write the scripts. What happens is your clients doesn't get fulfilled for it. So when you're back home, you sit down, you're like, okay, well, I want to take off, but it's not possible because you need to fulfill for your clients.
Yeah,
So every day is extremely busy.
exactly.
Meaning, if you are sitting down to make a reel, the acquisition gets 100% of your attention, but the fulfillment gets 0.
Yeah.
Meaning, if you come back home, 5 p.m., full day of recording content, you use your voice, so it's very exhausting. You come back home and you start to focus on the fulfillment, meaning now the fulfillment gets 100% attention, the acquisition gets 0.
Yeah.
What happens when one of these components isn't optimized for 100%? The chain is not a full circle.
Yeah, agree.
That is a big problem. The way we can eliminate this problem is by simply doing 2 different things. We can hire staff or we can automate things. We're never gonna delegate things before we automate. We always find ways to automate them first. I would love to look into the situation with you of seeing what we can automate because you said ChatGPT or other AIs cannot automate the scripting yet. Where does that come from? What have you tried so far that didn't really work?
Giving the same inputs that I have and asking to script, right?
I see.
It just doesn't work.
Do you feel like you have given it the right prompt and
Yeah.
a very good try?
Yeah, 100%.
I see.
And have you ever actually made one fully custom yourself?
No, never.
Right? And that is where it's really going to set you apart and save you time. You can essentially train it with 2 different things. You give instructions, so only respond in a certain way, certain tone, based on the knowledge base, all of these different things. And then you can also upload images, documents, scripts that you've made.
Yeah.
And when I'm telling you, you can upload hundreds of pages on Google Docs to a GPT, I'm telling you, if you get this right, it's going to save you an unbelievable amount of time. And it really, really works well. We use these all the time.
Correct. We have a custom GPT, and this is responsible for at least, I think, $20 million in client results. We call it Nik Setting brain. So it's my brain, right? I put in information for the past 2.5 years. This is screenshots, stories, reels. This has been client results, case studies, like everything that comes up in my brain every day, I'll add into that. And what happens with this is it trains itself. So every single time you want a ad script, it provides an ad script. So it's really accurate, and it's very, very good. There is no copywriter better than my GPT. There is no script writer better than our GPT. It's almost impossible.
So you're saying that everything you're putting out currently is based on that?
Correct.
Interesting.
All of it. It's fully AI, and it seems, as you probably would relate to, it seems very organic and personal.
Yeah,
right?
it does.
My brand's
No,
very,
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's constantly learning, right? That's the most important thing.
Makes it also easier to delegate, right? If you want to hire CSM, you give them the
Yeah.
GPT. They already know how to respond to your clients and help them out.
Exactly.
There is no amount of manual input that can ever relate with the AI. The AI will always win. Going back to this, the most important thing that we do with all of our clients, which works really well, is you make a letter. So you write it down from 1 to 10. Right now, what are the tasks that you are doing in the company? That could be 10 different things. As an example, I make content.
Yeah.
I write ad scripts. I fulfill for my clients. I take sales calls. I take client calls. There's already 5 topics. What we can do is we write it down and we have an overview of the daily tasks. Then we make another one, but we reposition them based on the amount of leverage that it can give us. So as an example, you cannot automate content because who's going to be the face,
Yeah.
right? That's impossible. But you can find someone to write the content for you. You can find someone that puts up all the camera gear and everything like we have here, so we don't need to manually do it. We can find so many people that can do these things where you shouldn't be involved in, and that's the most important thing.
I have 2 questions for you. Number 1, what do you think is the highest leverage activity that you can do, let's say for 1 hour of your day? You have 1 hour. What is the highest leverage thing
I know
that
the
you can do
answer.
for your business?
No, definitely the content.
Of course,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. And the goal of this entire thing, right, putting systems in place, going with a done with you model, is so that you can solely focus on that, right? It's the most important thing. You have to.
Agree.
And it's the same thing with Nick, and it's the same thing with so many of these clients that we work with. That's really what we try and help with.
Agree.
Exactly. And when the system now, like the point is the system isn't complete, right? Because you're constantly moving from this component to that component to try to fix every small problem.
Oh, yeah.
Going back, I want to add one thing onto this, right? Agency model, it's relatable to deliverables.
Yeah.
Coaching is information. That's why you see so many clients constantly scale with a coaching business super quick to 100K per month, but they did back to 20K. Yes.
What though if I do launches, let's say 4 times a year, coaching for like 1 month, done.
Launches are great. So we have a couple. We can do an event launch. We can do a webinar.
Yeah.
And we recently discovered, we have made, I think September, the first week of September, we made $200,000 with purely a story launch. This is dependent on the person. There are clients that come to us and they say, Nick, I've done story launches. I make $100,000 every launch. I do it 4 times, 5 times a year. And they're telling me technically, I want to sell evergreen because I like the consistency of cash flow.
Yeah.
If you say that doesn't matter, this could be an opportunity.
You never do CTA, so people will jump on it.
And then as I said, right, when you're fully focused on acquisition, your sales skyrocket, which is easy. You make $100,000 or whatever it is, let's say $40,000 if you do it right. You focus on fulfillment, so now you draw back to 20 because nobody's doing the acquisition. Then you focus back on acquisition and you skyrocket back up to 100. So it's massive inconsistency, and we want to create predictability because especially when we start to run the done with you offer, I think it's going to be very smart that you have an evergreen point of selling, not only webinars. Like it's very important that we see, okay, who do we need to attract when it comes down to hiring and what do we need to delegate? And with that leverage ladder, I think you'll solve a lot of your problems just because you get clarity on the actions you need to take.
What I also think is the reason why you don't do a lot of CTAs is because of the model itself. You can take a lot of clients. So if you
Yeah.
change the model, that solves a lot. But when you change the model, you also want to focus, as we talked about, a specific ICP. Because when you have a specific ICP, it's also easier for you to delegate. Because
Yeah.
your salesperson knows exactly these are the kind of people I get on a call. This is how I can solve the problem. For your fulfillment, the CSM you're going to hire, they know exactly what things they go through, including the GPT that we're going to give them. It makes it way easier for you to delegate your front and the back end, so you can really focus on your content.
So question for you. If you had to, okay,
Yeah.
and you could only serve one audience, what would it be?
Probably women, like coaches, business owners, like people who want to grow organically first, right? So to create the leads, to create whatever they need for, right?
I want to talk about pricing for the offers that we have with the Done With You mentorship that we can launch.
Yeah.
There's a psychology behind it. So the best way to charge is $4,000 for the do-it-yourself, $8,000 for the Done With You, and then $10,000 for the Done For You. When you see this overview, people instantly relate with seeing the do-it-yourself as the least valuable option because the difference between the 4 and 8 is bigger than the 8 to 10. So when you structure your pricing like that, people instantly going to relate with the fact of seeing, okay, cool, there's a massive difference in getting extra one-on-one support or group support or any other support. But if the Done For You is only an extra $2,000, they're going to relate and instantly think, okay, maybe it's just an extra resource that I get.
The difference is huge in my participation if I'm
Exactly.
doing it myself. If we're like involving then the GPT or whatever.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
And that's why we want to get people on this offer. We can sell to, let's say, 100 clients, and we will still be able to maintain
Yeah.
healthy profit margins. We shouldn't be able to rely on any Done For You material. You shouldn't be stressing about being able to fulfill for clients because we can hire one CSM, you do one group coaching, or you can even do 3 group
Not my
coaches a week.
responsibility anymore, kind of. That
Exactly.
thing.
You want to take away the responsibility. We have like quarterly re-optimization sessions where I sit with a client and like talk with them to see, okay, what has really been the game plan here? We've got from 20 to 120K right now. How do we get to $250,000? And the last thing I want to add to this, the best way to always create leverage in business is assets, right? And assets are video material. It's the best way to provide the most amount of clarity. The reason why most people think courses or group coaching or mentorships aren't great is because they don't get clarity. If you sell to a sophisticated buyer that takes action, the easiest way to deliver them results is giving them clarity because they do it anyways. They'll tell you, okay, you should do this, there, and you just execute, you get results. So if we can find a way to structure our assets the right way to give people clarity and information, right? And what happens? Okay, if you see a video about how to run ads, the profile ads that we run for all of our clients, when we provide them information on clarity about ads, and we tell them, okay, these are the exact next steps that you need to do, they're gonna take that action step. And when they get to us, we say, have you seen this exact module for you to know what you need to do?
Yeah. It makes sense because a lot of times it's not that you don't have information, you don't have clarity, right?
Exactly.
There's a lot of information online. So
Correct.
But like you're kind of backing them up saying like that's what's gonna work. They have
Correct.
a certainty.
And another thing, accountability as well, right? But that reflects back on certainty. The next problem appears and it's gonna be like, okay, cool, is my ad script good enough? So instead of letting them get to you within this mentorship model, making sure that the CSM gets 100 questions every single day. Oh, is my ad script good enough? It's mine good enough? I need to review Herman's ad script. I need to review Aaron's ad script. It's not going to make sense, right? Because we finally have time off after 5 p.m. and then I need to review 100 ad scripts. It's going to work out. So as an example, I'll make a video and I make a video with 5 touch points. And I say, listen, you have made your ad script right now. The next steps are, you need to have this marked off, you need to have the second step marked off and the third step marked off, meaning you need to have follow this framework, you need to position your CTA like this, you need to do this like this. When they have clarity on that, you don't need to review their work. So you have a course, you made it once. You have so much value that you've provided in that course. People love the course and they have all the clarity that they need.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, I think that you're in a really great position to start this too. Number one, we see a lot of people in this coaching model right now that come in that haven't actually done the work themselves. Okay. Meaning they haven't started the agency, they haven't done what they're actually coaching. In your case, it's the complete opposite. So you have over 300,000 followers, you have multiple reels that have gone extremely viral, and then you also have the client results. You started the agency. So leverage that as much as you possibly can, right? Getting testimonials, putting them on your profile.
Okay.
Because people are not only gonna see that you did it for your clients.
Exactly. So I'm not just like one-time shot.
Exactly.
I kind of proved it over the time to be working.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense.
And if you have really good clients that really want more hands-on support, I think you could even double the final price.
Because with what you're doing right now, we're not going to be able to sell it done for you, not even for $20,000. When you realize that you can sell 2 offers for 8 with the piece that you have right now in mind, not doing anything because you have all the clarity you need. You have a team that fulfills for these clients, and then know, okay, you need to get back to writing scripts yourself for an extra $4,000. If it's 20 and this is 16, you're like, no, it's not going to work.
Oh,
You
makes
wouldn't do
sense.
that because you need to invest your own time. You need to write their scripts. You need to communicate with them. It's terrible.
Imagine somebody goes through your program. They already took your course. They already talked to you and your CSMs and all these things, and they got results. Let's say they doubled their revenue or doubled their followers.
Clarity. I think that's the thing. You focus on one ICP, you focus on one offer, you get the most out of that.
And that's beautiful to say because again, organic is very unpredictable. So when I'm giving you clarity, I'm solving a lot of issues there.
Exactly. Exactly. People always are ready to buy. It's just making sure that they buy from you, and you make sure they buy from you
Yeah.
because of the clarity you give.
Yeah.
So you know you have Instagram. The way we can create a clear headline is by first of all speaking to our ICP. So it's specific ICP that we focus on. Then after that, it's results generated. So it's more of credibility. And then the last thing that we do is a CTA. This is what creates the conversion that we need because as you look at my profile, I have a headline, I have clear credibility, and then I have a CTA. So it speaks to one specific avatar. And that's the reason why every single person, I think we get around 200 to 250 DMs. And I think 85% is qualified, like are qualified people.
Yeah, they know where they're coming to, you know.
Exactly. And we have a clear headline. This is our Instagram. Right now, you have these 3 pin posts. What for value does that add? What is it about?
So that's the thing. For now, nothing. Like it was just, yeah.
So the most important thing that we can switch on here is we can focus on making one credibility driven. And what I think is the most important thing you should do to create massive credibility, instead of making a Canvas slideshow, right, with this are my results, super boring, nobody cares about that. Why don't you go meet someone in person, spend a day with that client in person and make it like a testimonial video. The thing that happens is, first of all, you have one long form content piece, YouTube video. You can clip this up in short form content and you have an indirect testimonial. So a direct testimonial is us sitting on a Zoom meeting and then saying, okay, what did you love about the program?
Yeah.
Things like that. Indirect testimonials are way more valuable. You have 3 forms of content created within one day and you probably get the most insane and most valuable day. It doesn't even matter what you talk about. It matters that other girls see the experience, the way you live, the things that you talk about, and then they're
very
like,
smart.
wow.
That's very
They're like,
smart.
I need to be part of this. I want to be in that exact situation.
Oh, that's very smart. Okay.
And the last thing I want to add on this, because this is what I'm a big fan of, is stories. Maya she came on a day with me visiting X, Y, Z. And these were her problems before. That day we had so much fun. We drank matcha. We went to Pilates. Right?
You know the girly things. Like he was like joking about it.
Yeah,
you know
so you do these things, and then you come back, you make a story sequence about that, meaning people can relate with it even more. So you have a short form content piece, so now you have so many pieces of content that you can then distribute into so many different versions of content. And I think that is a very smart play. And again, you are not going to do this. AI is going to do this.
Yeah, that's a major part. Like where I feel I'm kind of stuck is that I need to come up with so many ideas. It's difficult. It's exhausting. It's very creative work. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to sit down and just, no, it really takes a lot of efforts and energy and mental energy. So yeah, that's...
The biggest part, what I think is very valuable, when you go do something for a day, you don't need to come up with topics. It's going to flow. And I guarantee that this content will come across way more authentic. And because you're selling information and you're not selling a deliverable anymore, it's all about relatability and not about direct systems.
Yeah, like she's doing whatever I need
Exactly.
to kind of reach.
It's the the experience, it's the trust, it's everything. And that's exactly what makes your content most valuable. And people that buy information don't need information, they want to be part of something great.
Thing is, you have so many different content, but you said you save a lot of time. But besides that, your client has such an amazing experience with you because they spend the whole day with you. The thing is, when you did this with Daniel, Nick, I remember he had such amazing client results. But how many people did he refer? I think like 3 people.
Yes, I think 4.
So what is the LTV on Daniel specific? Thinking of all the content we made with him, but also thinking about all the referrals we got from him.
Exactly.
Okay.
I can tell you this for sure. People don't care only about the outcome, they care about the experience.
Oh, yeah,
So I know so many clients, a lot of our clients are making $300,000 to $500,000 a month. And to be very honest, their delivery isn't great. That's one of the reasons why they came to us. They do have a great client experience, right? And I would say even for...
Can you explain what you mean? Deliver is
Yes.
not great?
Of course. So as an example, the course could not really provide great information, or it could be similar information to what's out there on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or maybe the CSM is responding within 5 hours instead of 1 of what it's supposed to be looking like, you know? Although the experience could have been great, meaning the experience of the calls that are taken, even though the CSM was late, could still be good. You see what I mean? Meaning the experience is more important, even though maybe that person is not making $10,000 a month or not getting 1 million views specifically.
We can talk about ads if you want to.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was-
that
that
this
was
is an
it.
interesting topic. Generally, what we recommend to start is focus on organic first. Find what really, really works. Right, the right offer to the right niche. When you start running ads, you're competing with the top of the top. It's just how it is, right?
Yeah.
There's people that have more money than you, and there's people that have more experience in running ads than you.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to lock those other things down first. And then once you really want to scale, you have the systems in place, meaning, right, you have a team, you have CSMs, you have this full program built out where you say, okay, if I click a button and I get 100 new people, I can take them all.
Yeah.
That's when the offer and the deliverability is there,
Yeah.
that you can actually go out and do that.
And I can guarantee you this, when you have this content framework in place, you have a good foundation, you have people in place that fulfill for the other things we talked about. So your every single part of the business gets attention at the same time. You have a full operating system. The only thing you need to do is click one button, turn on ads, and it will work. And even though you're super good at organic, I would even say utilize what you're good at. The biggest thing that I learned in business is doing more of what already works.
Makes sense.
It's the
Same in
biggest-
content, like double
Yeah.
down on what works.
There is no
Exactly.
reason to adapt something whenever something is working.
As far as timelines go for our actual program, what are your thoughts?
That's a very good question
Yep.
because I don't like the mentorships that go over 2-3 months.
People don't look into durations, they look into the outcome, right?
Yeah.
So as an example, one of our clients attracts an older audience, as we know, right? We have a decent amount of clients that attracts like 50 to 60 year olds. The thing that they said to us, and this is a pain point we figured out on the sales call, clients booking, we booked him around, I think now at this point, like 14 to 18 sales calls a day, which is great. They're doing great volume. They're doing around 700K per month. The main obstacle that they had is the person that came on, right? The closer said, okay, cool. It's $12,000 for 6 months, even though a competitor offered $12,000 for a year. Meaning from their perspective, they choose the competitor always because the duration seems longer.
Yeah.
Oh, I get $12,000 for 6 months, but here I get $12,000 for a year.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a no-brainer, but that's not how it works. Meaning a younger audience, and we sell such an offer, the duration doesn't matter as much. Same for us. People never ask about the duration. They don't care, right?
Yeah.
If they get the result in a month, you know, that's better than getting it in 2 months. I think also it gives a lot of upsell potential for us to create more retention in the back end because I think our upsell rate right now is like, I think 81, 82%. Whether it's a very small offer, a bigger offer, or a very expensive one, our private mastermind, it's easy to upsell people whenever they feel like they got a great experience. You have something to add on the upsell?
No, I mean it's all like very well laid out, right? You're getting people into your ecosystem. They're going to trust you, and
Yeah.
the upsells are just
Of
kind of a
course.
no-brainer from that point on. As far as the timeline goes, I mean, I think that you should test generally, or just stick with something. You go 3 to 6 months. Generally, longer than that just doesn't. It's not really worth it for them, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you want to give them a sense of urgency.
Exactly. I don't want to, like, I feel like you get relaxed if you believe that, okay, I still have time. I will, like, do it later on.
There are so many people that I hear every single day that know that growing an audience online is the highest value thing that they can do for their business. Yet they don't. And why do you think they don't? In my eyes, it's accountability, right? If they had somebody who held them accountable, it's so valuable to
That's
them.
so good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's very,
yeah,
very
that's so
valuable to
good.
them.
I want to show you another example. We always market one solution, so we're never gonna give people options. The worst thing, one of my biggest competitors does that, and I think I completely disagree with that because we're never gonna give people options. When you are going to offer multiple solutions, you're always gonna market one.
Only one.
Right? So in your marketing, you only say and focus on one. As an example, could be the done with you. We're never gonna market the done for you or the do it yourself. There's no reason to. The only thing we do is focus on one.
So that's your recommendation to do the middle one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes. The middle one is the best one to offer because it's a perfect balance between the both. Right? And the do it yourself is like kind of 2 hands off. People need some support. The done for you is too much.
You do a discovery, and when you figure out they're not qualified for the done with you, you focus completely on don't do it yourself.
Okay.
What is their PIF rate?
let's say
Fifth
60.
rate, and the closing rate is like 50-40. It's
Something
crazy.
like that.
It's very high. And the only reason why is because you can explain the process of how we do our sales process. What is the sales process at the end with the offers?
Well, you present one offer, you look at their situation, and you understand what kind of deliverables they need. They basically tell themselves already to themselves what they need, and you accommodate that based on what you tell them. You don't have to go over all the deliverables, you just have to go over the points they specifically
to them.
need.
That's very important. And then ultimately you can offer them, let's say you think the done with you solution fits them best, you offer them the done with you solution. But then, let's say, right, the process is 3 months. You fulfill for these 3 months. And as you said, we're all not big fans of making the program longer because it seems like you get to your end result at a later time. We can upsell them into like a content writer or anything that's related with scripts or organic optimization or conversion or things like that. That is going to be a very easy selling point, cross-selling them into a new solution to make a lot of back-end revenue. Now you obviously have retention, but then it's more of like an upsell or resell. And that's going to be great because the let's say the GPT that we can help you with that you will use for your clients, you can sell that to your clients.
For upsells, what I also will do, let's say you make it 3 months, right? You make it a shorter period. Always book in a sales call after you're done with the program because every business always has a bottleneck. You solve the first one, there's always a new one. Figure out how you can help them with the next thing. That can be the agency if they're good enough. If not, see how you can bring them a custom-made new solution that's also done with you. Same thing with do it yourself. Check in with them. Like, what is their situation? Are they doing better? Can they upsell to done with you? You already sold them once, so selling them twice is easy.
Of course.
Last thing I want to talk about. Talk to me about your conversion right now. So you said a lot of people came in, you got a lot of views at the same time, and you just, what is it, like a cowboy, like fishing Calendly links.
I chose the best that I wanted to work with.
I
That
see.
was it.
But you wasted a lot of time hopping on calls with people that are unqualified. I feel
Yeah.
like when we can create a structure, not only will you save yourself a lot of time, right? But you'll make a lot more money. So talk to me about that. How does that look like at the moment, this specific structure? What do you have?
The easy as it is, you know.
I see. How I would transition this into a way more profitable model is like this. So we have view, and then your view goes either obviously as now to an IG reel. It goes to a YouTube link in bio. So we can make a VSL edit around this. We can make a story sequence every single day to get people related with the nurturing process. And then what happens is from here, you all send this to the DMs. In the DM, we have 2 options. We can get a setter in place, or we can get an AI in place that can fulfill for a lot of these tasks.
My question, how do you get people to come from YouTube back to DMs then?
So what you can do is you can create a link, Instagram/yourname.dm. You can, where people click on the link and they go directly to your DM. It will be way more profitable. You will get way less calls. You will get way more qualified calls. So people are not just jumping around booking calls with you, wasting your time. That's very important, right? And then from DM, we have a conversation. The conversation happens, and then you send them an asset in between. So let's say, okay, Natalie, you booked a call with me right now, great. We always send them an 8-minute video. That 8-minute video gives them a breakdown of what we're gonna talk about and everything. Herman, on the sales call, the only thing he has to do is handle their objections. It has nothing to do with continuously saying, okay, this is what we also delivered. That's not what it is about.
Yes, and I wouldn't even frame it as objections. I would more frame it in having a couple of questions they want to go over to confirm what they already thought.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Which comes back to the beginning of the thing that we were talking about with the offer of the things that people need. People need accountability and confirmation. People need certainty.
A lot comes down to also on these calls is how you say it. Like they sometimes already know it's a fit. They just want to see in the way you present it. Like, are you confident you can bring your deliverables, right? So, and as you already do the things, it's very easy.
Yeah, 100%. Okay.
And then you send them to a Calendly link. And the Calendly link obviously has a lot of questions. When you put this into place, and we can help you with this, it's a way more structured process.
And why this is so much better than like a cold VSL funnel, it's just people are coming into your ecosystem, and this is why a lot of people work with Nik. We see this all the time. People go, I saw a reel, and from that moment on, I could not get rid of you anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay? When they're on Instagram Reels, they go on YouTube, and he was popping up on their algorithm. Getting them into your ecosystem, by the time that they click your Calendly, and then you send them testimonials, they're going to get on the phone with you, and it's going to be a very, very easy
I don't
process.
let people go until they pay.
Exactly.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And just a quick tip: start focusing on YouTube. I'm telling you, because if you're already good at Instagram, even just making a little bit of content on YouTube, it goes a long way as far as the credibility goes. It really
I
does.
agree.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Do you have any other questions?
No,
about
it
anything?
was so great. Yeah, amazing.
Hopefully it gave you more clarity.
A lot, and like especially some of the nuggets were like so much on point. I was like, damn, that's genius.
You know what I also think? I feel like we've done put on the brake on acquisition because the business model isn't open for scalability.
Exactly.
And I think if we restructure the business model so it's open for scalability, you can easily hire people. You can systemize
Yes.
your process.
Yes.
What do you think we could do in like 3-6 months if we'll do all of those things?
See, the goal is like if when there is a clarity, scaling is easy, right? Because now I know what to do, right? After all of this. And I just need to take care of it like one by one. So once it's done, it's just like super easy, especially if I'm already good with acquiring like attention and trust, right? So yeah, like in numbers, not sure. I need to think about it, but like seems easy so far because I always have the issue with reaching the clarity, understanding what I want. Then it just gets easier.
Exactly. It's all about clarity because when you know who you speak to, you know what problem you're going to solve them, you know how you're going to deliver that.
Yes.
It's just putting oil on the fire that already exists.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Through
Yeah.
more CTAs, through long form content, through ads.
Yeah.
I think for our clients, like we do a business audit usually for a lot of the clients that gives them clarity. Like how long does that take, Nick?
This was a similar.
This is like a
This
similar
is audit.
Yeah. If you would implement all of those things, what do you think is the next thing for you with your offer?
Just again following the steps, right? Like once I see the goal, usually I have the issue of seeing the goal. Okay, where are we going? Like see the end point. But with this, it's getting like very clear, and you also see the ladder you need to go up. So it's just execution basically.
That's it.
No, so on point,
Thank you so much.
guys. Like a lot of love. Like literally, it's amazing.
Appreciate that. That's very.
We thank you for coming, and
I-
you were amazing too.
I
Great on
literally-
camera.
I literally got way more than I expected. I knew you were great, but it was like more of okay, let me try it out, let me see what's gonna be, and I was just like, my flabbers are exhausted.